checking. Okay, looks like we're good. We are live. So I know I've been away for probably a week or so. Apologies for my absence. A bit of stuff here and there happened. Won't get into what. But, point is, I'm back. And it also took me a little while to upload this because I've been summoning my ass off for the past couple of days. Not for the new figures, mind you. I don't have to do that anymore thanks to our boy Unleashed. But rather for the T-chips. And that is because the current version of the editor that he's got, you know, the Hero Colosseum editor, the current version only allows you to have it go up to level 60, and if you put it at 99 and you try to limit break it when you boot up your game again, it won't let you do so. It'll say 99 out of 60. With that being said, and I'm not saying that you should, or that you have to Unleashed, I know you're probably watching this. I want to thank you very much ahead of time, before I even get into that, for sending me a updated version of the Unlock All Figures tool. That was very, very helpful. I didn't have to worry about legitimately doing all those battles to get all those freaking cookie, donut, and cake chips just so I could show off the whole EX list here. So, very big thank you for that. I think, with that being said though, it might be time for an update on that tool. Just a thought. I mean, it's been out for a year now, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's been any changes made to it. But I get it if you can't, or if you don't want to. I know you're also doing college classes and whatnot. You got a lot on your plate as is, so either way, I'll understand. But anyway, we're here to check out the new figures. And no, I didn't bother maxing all of them out this time, because, and that's another thing, I was having issues with the editor. I actually did go back, and I think it's accurate now. It's really weird how these are numbered. For example, like this one in the Hero Colosseum editor, you can put in the fig data sheet for the notepad document. You put in 470, for example, and you put a dash, a left bracket, UR, for the rarity, of course, right bracket to close that out, then you put the name of the character. And I like to just put it exactly how it's shown underneath where it says number. That's how I do it. And I've thought, why not make it consistent? It would just be a lot easier to follow also. And if I ever need to double check, I can always look at the whether or not it's a UR, or I can even open up the game and double check that way. Anyway, I'm getting off track here. If it's finally here, we're going to go over really quick all the new figures. I only bothered maxing out and completing all the dupes with the UR figures. And the past couple days, I've actually been farming my ass off for Gogeta chips. And I'm going to be showing what I think is the most optimal way of farming those really easily. It works for me, but if anyone has any suggestions or any input on that, that's always welcome and appreciated. But in the meantime, I hope my method at least helps you a little. And one other thing I will say is, and again, you don't have to, I'm not saying you should Unleashed. What I think would be really cool is if you're not able to update the Hero Colosseum editor, why not think of a tool maybe that can allow the PC players for Hero Colosseum to give themselves as many of whatever chip they want somehow. And again, you don't have to do any of that, that's just ideas. But again, huge thank you and shout out to Unleashed. I wouldn't have been able to get this video out as soon as I did if it weren't for him. I also want to give a huge thank you and shout out to my buddy QB Foursquare, who edited yet another CPK data file so I could essentially use that to shop mod, get all the new stuff early. I even got all the 2 new gifts early. There's one for Goku, GT Goku's, I'm sorry, not GT Goku, End of Z Goku's outfit And there's also one for regular-looking Oob from the end of Z, when he was a lot more skinny-looking and shorter. But if anyone wants to see that, I could do that in a separate video, maybe. I don't really plan to. I thought it was very underwhelming and kind of disappointing, not gonna lie. And this is just me personally. I don't really see where else they could go with this. But anyway, I'm getting off topic again. I apologize. I've just been freaking editing the figure data table like crazy because I screwed up, and I screwed up one of my previous saves. Thankfully, that's why I make backup saves. I always recommend doing that, especially if you're on PC. Because you never know what mods or tools are going to do to your save file sometimes. But anyway, it was having a hard time reading like what was in my figure boxes, and I would go to an edited figure, one of the new ones, and it would crash it. So I just had to suck it up, stop being lazy, put everything in the list. Seems to be working just good now. So let's just quickly look at all the new ones that came out. I'm going to show them off at their base levels, and then we'll get into the next URs that came with the update. So I think it was because I want to say we got 70 new figures. Yeah, okay, so it'd be starting at 16 here. So really nothing too special, it's just an N. And you folks already know how I work. And if you're like me, you only really prefer the UR figures in the game. One thing that really surprised me with a bunch of the GT figures that we got to was still no Nova figure, still no Ice figure, still missing a couple of Frieza henchmen as figures. I don't know if we're even going to get any more DLC after this. Probably not. It's really up in the air. But anyway, here are what the new figures are like. You can pause anywhere you like if you want to see their stats, trigger squares, posing skills, etc. And I want to try to get through this a little bit quick, just so I can at least show off the method I used to farm those Gogeta chips, because that is going to take you the longest, I think, with this update. Aside from, you know, of course, trying to get 10 or 11 of the SR GT Goku figure that will be coming up here in a bit, and it limit breaks into Super Saiyan 4 Goku, the new one, but there's another new Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and guess what, that one's exclusive, so if you want to get that one and get the EX version of both variants for that one, you're going to have to really pray to RNGesus. Keep summoning, keep praying. That's all I can really tell you. And even Base Oob got a UR figure, which is another exclusive one. Again, good luck there. And we have End of Z Goku as an R. I think he also has an... yeah, he has an SR. And then it does break into a UR. It's actually a really good one. And I'll show off the maxed one shortly here. Here's the GT Goku I was referring to. SRs are thankfully not too difficult to obtain, but there are so many freaking SRs now, it's like you're still kind of out of luck. And if you're like me, your luck is freaking terrible, where you spend over 17 straight hours trying to get one OG Attack UI Goku, which is another exclusive UI figure. I'm sorry, UR figure. And I'm really not a whole fan of the EX thing they introduced. It just made a lot more work for everyone, in my opinion. That means you have to spend much more time battling in the same free battles over and over again just to get those specific chips that you need. That's, in my opinion, why we haven't seen character-specific chips since when Hero Colosseum first came out. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea to bring back. I mean, EX I can kind of get behind, but why not just make it with the M and the... I forget what the base ones are. For the colored chips, I'll have to go back and look. But anyway, now we're getting back into the EX figures, and yeah, a lot of them you're going to see are Android 21. 18 of them. I am not kidding. Both versions of the N, the R, and the SR Android 21, they all limit break into a new version of itself 3 times. It's ridiculous. They really went overboard with it. You're going to be farming a lot, and I mean a lot, of cookie, donut, and cake chips. And I thought that was kind of funny at first, but then I looked at the numbers and realized, no, it's not funny at all. There's nothing to laugh at here. Because it is, for the first EX break, it's going to be 5, and then after that, it's 10, and then after that, it's 20. But anyway, we are coming up to the last few figures here. You're going to see that they're all Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Brand new. This is technically the only UR-EX figure in the entire game right now. I guess you can call it an LR if you want, if you play Dokkan, because they're top-tier figures breaking into even more top-tier figures. And I think this was a concept introduced too little too late. We're at DLC 10 here, and from what I've been seeing, it seems like that's about it. But moving on, that is the last of it for the new figures. Let's show them off how they are when they're all maxed out. And I normally don't do this, but I'm going to ask for it because I had to freaking move mountains just to get this video done in the first place. If I could at least get 10 likes, that would be very much appreciated. If not, no big deal. But anyway, here's the new Android 21 figure. I've got all the new URs, they're all 99. All duped completely into attack. Here's Majub. The other Majub. End of Z Goku. The new Super Saiyan 4 Goku. The new Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. The new Omega Shenron. That one surprised me. It was actually funny. I was watching Mogzora. That really shocked him too. The Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta that we just went over. And yeah, very, very good figure. Probably the new best figure in the game. Like, not overall, but definitely one of the best. Just look at his HP here. Look at that attack. And he's going to keep getting speed on top of that. And he's going to keep increasing his damage dealt to opponents by 15%. I mean, yeah, it only stacks during that turn only, but you gain a permanent 500 attack on odd turns and a permanent plus 500 speed on even turns also. And granted, he doesn't have a trigger square in the middle, and neither does the other one. But still, you could even pair them up if you wanted with the original Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. You could have 3 Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas up in the front if you wanted. That would look really funny, I think. But anyway, that is pretty much going to do it for that. One last thing I want to show off before we end this video out is how to quickly farm the Gogeta chips. And this is a team that I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with. I'll quickly go over it just so you can see what I've got on them. I've got the original Super Saiyan 4 Goku, figure 205. Attack up second, Adium up second, defense up second. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the original one, the faster, harder hitting one. And I've got him with O1 skills. Final Explosion, Blue Evolved Vegeta. And I got another a Blue Vegeta here. Focus Flash attack with attack up second, Anium up second, ultimate gauge down every turn. Very easy to hide behind Vados with. And then of course Vados herself, attack up second, Anium up second, defense up second. All of them are duped into attack. And there is a very good reason for that. I've gone over it previously. This is just how I see it. What's better than a hard-hitting figure that hits even harder? What's better than a faster figure that also hits harder? And same thing with a defensive figure. It's just really beneficial in general, I think, to hit harder. Because if you can get rid of whatever's in front of you, then that's one less threat you have to worry about. But anyway, this is how I'll start it out. I'll put out Goku, and there are two things you want to be paying attention to when doing this fight. You want to pay attention to when he puts out his Super Saiyan 4 Goku to stack up damage and defense on his side. You also want to be keeping an eye on yours. And one other thing you want to keep an eye out for is the enemy Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, because he has a lot of speed. And you want to get rid of him if you can, because that's really going to help you. Now, this is what I usually do after one turn. So, Vegeta's good right now. I'll put him off. Goku's really good on health, so I don't have to put out anyone to block for him. But anyway, I put out Focus Flash Vegeta next, because usually turn 2, after he takes a bit of damage, he'll either put Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta in the back left, or Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. And it's really important to get rid of them. It's also very beneficial if he happens to put Whis or Beerus over there, because they have a lot of health. And then every turn you can just skip the entire turn. You don't need to worry about watching it. Just make sure you keep an eye on everyone's health. And that's really all you need to do. So Goku's taking a bit of damage here, because the enemy's stacked up in the middle. So that's when I'll put a Focus Flash Vegeta off to the side. I'll get Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta out here. And usually it's very safe, even if the enemy stacks up 2 down the middle at this point, because of the constant damage debuff that Goku's doing, and it also helps a lot with Vados being there. And of course, just keep trying to go second each time. Skip the turn. Vados died, not surprising. And then usually by turn 4, you can ult and easily sweep from there. And granted, you're level 99, you're going to have more than enough health to survive, even if they stack up and you go second, etc. And Gogeta's also looking really good, too, at this point. He's still at full health. That's another thing you kind of have to be careful with, but if RNG here happens to screw you over, and they're double stacked in the middle, you could still pull off a win. It's just a bit unlikely due to RNG, and like I said, this is not, like, guaranteed the best method to do it. This is just what I found that works, and as you can see right there, 9 times out of 10, it's worked out for me just fine. I think there are only 2 very specific instances where I lost, and right there you just saw I got 3 Gogeta chips, and thankfully those are always guaranteed. So are the T yellows and the T reds. If you want guaranteed T blues and T reds, you'll have to fight Blue Evolved Vegeta, which unfortunately does not give Gogeta chips, so that makes it even more grindy in that sense, because you got to get away from this battle to go get cake chips with him, and with Omega Shenron, and with Baby, and with Goku here. They just really went overboard with him, in my opinion. But anyway, that is pretty much going to do it for the video. And as you're also going to see by the thumbnail, that is exactly how I feel about this whole thing, just because of how much work was involved. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed, and thank you for stopping by as usual. I will catch you guys later.